Hello and welcome to a brand new episode of Alphabet on Air.
We believe that there's no plan B for our planet, and it's important that we focus on this sustainable transformation of the economy.
Alphabet always had a sweet spot in the heart around sustainability.
Sustainability is no longer a side activity of a business, but it is an integral part of the success and the competitiveness.
This CO2 emission topic is something that is new to the whole industry. It sounds like such a complex topic. We wanted to simplify this topic.
With our collaboration, I truly believe that we can enable the Alphabet clients to really be at the frontier of this transformation of the economy.
Find out the CO2 emissions for our customers to then help shape, measure, and take actions in order to reduce that.
What's most important is that this whole experience is guided with focus on education.
First, taking responsibility. A second, creating transparency about CO2 emissions. And third, guiding customers towards the CO2 emission reduction of their fleet.
Hello and welcome to a brand new episode of Alphabet on Air, your video podcast for the latest news and insightful discussions about the fleet industry and, of course, Alphabet. I'm your host, Ursula Unger, and today marks a special milestone as we launch the very first edition. And I'm electrified to welcome Lubomilla Jordanova, the founder and CEO of Plan A. Welcome, Lubomilla.
Thank you.
And Markus Deusing, CEO of Alphabet.
Hello,
Welcome,
Ursula.
Markus. So recently, the two of you, both industry leaders, joined forces to, I would call it, revolutionize fleet businesses worldwide with a cutting-edge decarbonization tool. And today we'll deep dive into the details and discover how this collaboration is set to shape the future. So without further ado, let's jump right in and uncover the next generation emission manager and collaboration between Plan A and Alphabet. First, let's start with a brief overview. Could you two briefly describe what your companies do? Markus.
I hope everybody knows Alphabet, but Alphabet is a globally operating leasing and mobility provider belonging to the BMW Group. We're in the market for 25 years, so we have a long experience in this mobility sector. And our ambition is it always to enable our customers or enable companies to handle their corporate mobility in a very economical, but also in a very sustainable way.
Lubomilla?
I'm the founder and CEO of a company called Plan A. We've developed a software that enables businesses to decarbonize and align to policy. We work with more than 1,500 businesses that want to go on a sustainability journey as the regulation changes and also as consumer preferences change.
Now, why did you name your company Plan A?
Two specific reasons. First of all, plana in Spanish means flat land. So when you would Google the name, you would see all these green fields. I would hope to be able to see more of this on this planet. In terms of the whole concept of Plan A, we believe that there's no plan B for our planet, and it's important that we focus on this sustainable transformation of the economy.
That sounds good. So thanks for the brief introduction. Let's explore the catalyst that brought you to your companies together. What led to the formation of this striking collaboration and the development of this new state-of-the-art emission manager?
There has been a lot of changes in the last 3 years on the regulatory front, especially in the European Union. The reason for this is that as climate change has intensified, so has also the demand from governments to really understand what are the climate risks and, of course, costs associated to that. Businesses all over the world are trying to make sense of all of those and really to digitize their sustainability agenda as they align to what is upcoming. We have been working quite extensively now for a few years on understanding these regulations, understanding what this will mean for the fleet management industry, and then shaping this into a product that is useful for the clients of Alphabet.
And from Alphabet perspective, I can say that Alphabet always had a sweet spot in the heart around sustainability. Roughly around 10 years ago, Alphabet was one of the first who came up with a holistic program around how to electrify a fleet. Of course, back then, there were not so many electric vehicles available. A lot of things have changed. Also, the regulation is now ramping up drastically. Recently we did a research. It's called the European Fleet Emission Monitor, where we asked 700 customers, 700 fleet managers across Europe, what they think about the new regulations and the new focus on CO2 emissions. And it was quite interesting to see that the demand and the task of these fleet managers is changing towards more focus on CO2 emissions. But what they need is they need to monitor, they need to evaluate precise data for CO2 emissions. So that was our customers' need, and then we reached out, we looked for a partner, because that's also new for us. And super happy that we're now sitting here together with Lubomilla and Plan A, because Plan A has developed such a great tool which we can adapt and use for our customers to very accurately find out the CO2 emissions for our customers, to then help shape, measure, and take actions in order to reduce that.
Now, building upon that, another crucial aspect is companies' awareness of their emission baselines. And in your experience, how aware are businesses of their current carbon emissions and the baseline from which they need to reduce?
It is important that now the technology is there. Now we are able to actually gather the data, and we have more precise information about that and have greater insights. For our customers, you know, their main job is to manage their fleet. It is new for them as well, but this new topic is new in the industry. So I think now it is exactly the right time to come up with such a tool and to offer our customers some guidance, because it will become more relevant anyway.
So Markus, could you please provide some insights into the innovative features of the tool?
Absolutely. The tool, first of all, is called the Alphabet Carbon Manager. Now that, of course, doesn't make the tool very innovative, but what is behind it, the technology behind it, makes it very unique. First of all, it creates a very reliable transparency about the overall CO2 emissions of its fleet. But we don't stop there. We actually even provide options to reduce the fleet and simulate with what kind of measures you can reduce the CO2 emission by how much. It is important for the fleet manager in order to integrate sustainability in the decision-making process. And as I said earlier, it is important that our fleet managers and our customers can rely on the data. So we made sure that it is compliant regarding ESG reporting and the GHG requirements.
Wow, sounds great. Now, Lubomilla, you as the founder and CEO of Plan A, could you tell us more about the specific capabilities? How does this tool empower businesses, and what are the specific functionalities of the tool?
Data related to fleets, conveniently in the case of Alphabet, is already available. And what this means is that we've solved one big piece of the puzzle related to the CO2 assessment. What we do with the tool is that we transform this data into CO2 emissions and then automatically give guidance on how these CO2 emissions can be reduced according to the targets that have been set by the fleet managers. The suggestions that they get are incredibly practical. The ideas that you would receive there are related to the behavior of the driver, the fleet, the fuel, and obviously the car mix. And what's most important is that this whole experience is guided with focus on education. We are familiar that fleet managers are not necessarily experts in sustainability, as this is a new topic to many. And with this in mind, we've made it very clear that this now requirement for many businesses is a process that is being guided, and it's in alignment to all these requirements on a regulatory level and other deadlines that these fleet managers have.
Right. I like the holistic approach.
Maybe
Markus.
if I can add to that, it's not only new for the fleet managers, it's also new to us. We were coming from that mobility and operational leasing sector. This CO2 emission topic is something that is new to the whole industry. And what you said, Lubomilla, earlier about the practicability of these measures, that is very important because it sounds like such a complex topic. What we wanted to do is we wanted to simplify this topic and create measures and give guidance where the fleet managers can actually work with.
So we can't wait to see the positive transformation this tool will bring to businesses. Now, fleet electrification is also a crucial component of sustainable transportation. Markus, as the CEO of Alphabet, we would like to hear your perspective on the challenges associated with fleet electrification. So could you share your thoughts with us?
Maybe first starting with a positive note. In the European Fleet Emission Survey, nearly all of the people that we have asked anticipate a full electrification of their fleet. So that's a very, very positive signal. But in order to electrify a fleet, you have to focus on certain steps. It is important that you address these steps because range anxiety is still there. You need to understand which part of the fleet you can electrify first, which part makes sense, and what you need for that. You need to build up know-how about how to use BEV vehicles or PHEV vehicles. You need a charging infrastructure that actually helps your fleet to be operated. You also need to think about fast charging access because there are probably some drivers in your fleet that drive more than 200-300 kilometers a day and they need access to fast chargers as well. Incentive systems. And as I said earlier, the know-how sharing because we are all so familiar with how we have driven in the past, and this is something new. And until you haven't experienced approaching a fast charger and knowing how quick it can actually recharge your car and you are back on the road again, you will have some resentments about electrification. So there are obstacles, but these obstacles can overcome if you have a plan.
So Lubomilla and Markus, in your opinion, will this directive lead to an increased need for companies to develop or adapt systems that can effectively track and report on their CO2 emissions?
We, of course, are in the fleet industry. So we focus very much on the CO2 emissions of vehicle fleet of our customers. But the beauty of our collaboration with Plan A is that if the customer sees demand outside of the fleet, then we can, of course, also align with Plan A, and Plan A can give the opportunity also to look at the broader perspective and not only at the fleet. And this is also what I'm quite happy about.
Now, we would like to hear about the obstacles you encountered while developing the tool. Could you give us some insights on that and how you overcame the obstacles?
The challenge as a first step I would mention has been education, going through the process of aligning all the different stakeholders that have contributed to this project, be it the Alphabet team, be it the Plan A team, be it also the fleet managers that tested in the beginning, but then after that started using it at scale, required for us to explain concepts, spend time on talking about the economic benefits of sustainability. And this obviously required also for us to align the language, align the timing, and make sure that there's a clear understanding on all sides. We found it actually quite pleasant to go through this co-creation process and come out with something that I think both sides are incredibly happy about.
Markus, what a compliment.
Oh.
Yes, but I take it as a compliment. No, let's be fair. We both learned a lot. You're a young, very fast company, fast-growing company. We're a multinational company with very strong processes. Let's put it this way. And of course, this is a very beneficial cooperation. But I think we profited very much, specifically on the expertise around regulation, around CO2 measurements. So that helped us a lot because what I earlier said, it's also a new topic for us. One other obstacle that was definitely there was the connection of this new tool to our existing IT landscape. That is something that we had to address, where we had to find ways in order to make sure that the data that is available in our systems can then also be used in modulating the CO2 emission in this system, in the Alphabet Carbon Manager.
Right. So tell us more. Obviously, it's very important for you, for Alphabet, that there is a seamless transition when incorporating the decarbonization tool. Could you elaborate on how easy it will be for your customers to integrate the tool into their daily operations?
Mm-hmm. Well, also there, you cannot simply just roll out a tool and say, okay, here, play with it and try to find a way to reduce the CO2 emissions. That's not how Alphabet customers expect the cooperation with Alphabet. So what we are doing is we have a pre-setup meeting with the customers where we show the tool, explain the functionalities, then also help integrating the first kind of data, because that is the most important thing that you have to do. You have to integrate the data in order to be able to measure it. It is possible to have further workshops later on when the customers has access to the tool, is playing around with it a little bit, creates some more experience, but it is fully integrated in our overall consulting approach around CO2 consulting, around electrification consulting. So the customer will definitely not be left alone with using this tool and integrating this tool.
Right, so it seems like you've taken significant steps to make the transition seamless and easy for your customers. Now let's shift our focus to a broader perspective. What message would you like to convey regarding the importance of sustainability in the leasing sector?
All of the factors that are pressuring businesses to change, be it regulation, customers, employees, investors, are there to demonstrate that sustainability is no longer a side activity of a business, but it is an integral part of the success and the competitiveness. With this regard, I truly believe that this 25% emissions that are sitting within the transportation industry hold a really big, not only responsibility, but also a key to the decarbonization journey of our economy. And with our collaboration, I truly believe that we can enable the Alphabet clients to really be at the frontier of this transformation of the economy.
Well, thank you. Thank you to both of you for stressing the importance of sustainability. Now, as we conclude this talk, Markus, we would like to hear about the ultimate goal of the partnership between Plan A and Alphabet. What are you aiming to achieve through this collaboration?
Maybe three things. First, taking responsibility. Second, creating transparency about CO2 emissions. And third, guiding customers towards the CO2 emission reduction of their fleet.
Thank you. And Lubomilla, your final thoughts on this partnership and the impact it can have? What message would you like to leave our viewers with?
After working now for a few years with Alphabet, it has become evident that the level of ambition is unraveled, and there is a big commitment for this to go in the hands of all clients and really enable them to go on this transformational journey. I don't doubt the success that it will bring to the clients of Alphabet as they go on their net zero path. And I know that we're committed to scaling this and enabling this industry that is quite complex, quite challenging to navigate, and making it more sustainable.
So as we conclude this episode, let us remember that sustainability is not only a buzzword, it is a responsibility we all share. So we encourage you to stay tuned for future episodes of Alphabet on Air as we continue to bring you fascinating discussions, news and insights about the industry and, of course, Alphabet. Thank you, Lubomilla and Markus, once again for sharing your expertise today and your perspectives. And a special thank you to all of you, our viewers, for being part of this journey with us. Until next time, stay informed, stay inspired, and stay committed to sustainability. Thank you.